All right, all right. Welcome to the weekly screen share. Yeah. Amazing time to be alive. Nice week of trading. Excellent time. Bitcoin's tonight isn't so fun. It's back and forth sideways, but for the most part, it's been, the strategies have been playing out. It's been taking patience and time, but little by little, the days have gone by, and I've been able to see profitability. So it's been tough, but it's been, I find, when everyone else doesn't pay attention and I always dig deep, that's when there's always some reward, right? So again, altcoins aren't the funnest. I've changed my stance on basically pitching money into, speculative alts. Doesn't mean I've given up on alts completely. We're going to take a look at a few things here. And we're going to look at Bitcoin in the bigger picture as well. Shout out to anyone jumping in. Sorry for the early bird special here. My kid just had a request, so I said okay, and that was going to have to push me to be, to take care of the screen share earlier. So I'm reading people in the stream. We love you guys. Thank you for everyone that's not in the stream, but in the trading group. But okay, 92,100. Let's take a look at Bookmap first off the bat. And right off the bat, you can see there's a lot of liquidity up at 94,005, 94,000. Okay, so that's just still hanging there saying, hey, we're eventually going to go and liquidate those shorts. It's really not that far away. It's $2,500 away. Bitcoin's been moving, pretty fast. So I'm still in that trade. I'm down 183 now. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out now that we're below the 200. I played this flag here when we were above in the model. Actually, no, like this here. Yeah, this is the model. I played this flag. It eventually kind of diamond out, if you can see it. Look, it looks funny, right? It's a diamond. I didn't even really see it, but it's a diamond head and shoulder there in a way. We stayed there. It looked like we were going to move out. I went and had dinner with my family, and now when I came back, it's struggling. So it is a low volume Thursday. I usually expect nothing, and so far I did get nothing. But, every once in a while, there's just a squeeze out of nowhere, and I do get some gains. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But whatever. It's light. It's like 240 for 800 or something like so. Ethereum showing some signs of life. We're going to talk about, is ETH bouncing? Is it alt season? I don't even want to say the name anymore, but we're going to bring that up and talk about it. Anything you're bringing up too in the comments here, let me get into the comments and take a look. Here we go. And just check. Okay, cool. Daily's closing not the way it should for the Bulls. Yeah, XRP. Love the shirt, Sammy. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So let's break down BTC. That's the first thing. And let's talk about it. We'll delete everything and just look at it fresh. Right now, the 4 hours attempting a tweezer bottom. Right? That's some bullish signs. But again, we go to our monthly. As long as the monthly can stay above 82.5, we have to remain somewhat bullish. And as long as we can hold this tweezer bottom, we have to remain somewhat bullish. So right off the bat, we can put a line there. We can check that off the list, and we can say, okay. 5-day chart, bullish engulfing candle. I'll take that every day of the week. That closes in 2 days and 1 hour, though. But we'll see. So far, that's a good look on the bigger time frame. 3 days above the 200 moving average, as I said, but I don't like these huge wicks down. Not my favorite, but we have a day in 1 hour. And the daily, right? Looks like it is going to close another tweezer top, but it did that before. It did take a dump. Able to reverse. I don't like tweezer tops on the daily. Usually not the best sign, right? Remember, we kind of had this idea going, and there is a chance that you just kind of topple all the way back down. The only thing that I do like is this previous resistance is support. So Bitcoin has to stay above 91.3. In my humble opinion, if you see the daily close below, or if you see a daily candle below 91.3, to me, it's likely we're going to come down to look at right on that high volume node, which is, that's crazy, right? Right there. And there's a gap here. So let's see if we can stay above this. This is a POC on the daily. You see it right there? So we are above a POC. And, it's a good chance we could continue all the way back up. So we need a quick short squeeze in the middle of the night or later tonight or something to change this daily candle green. It would be nice if we closed this candle green tomorrow at 8 p.m. We haven't closed. Oh, no, so sorry. Today at 8 p.m. I'm so sorry. I'm about to say. Actually, today in 4 minutes. No, we're about to close this daily candle right now. In 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And this is why it's a really good time to do the screen share, because right when we have the daily candle. Might move it to here, right? Because I used to do it at 8 p.m. because of the daily candle, but now I forgot they've switched it, right? Because of my time frame. Took the leap and joined the lifers this year, looking to make 26 the best yet. Hey, man, put an amount that you are desiring to make by the end of the year. Okay, I want you to write it down tonight. Or maybe you got to take a couple days, but, is it 100? Is it 200? Is it 500? Is it 1 mil? I make it like something that you believe is really achievable and say, hey, I'd like to have this much in my bank account by this time next year, right? By December 4th of next year, I'd like to have this much, and just work for that and say, what do I have to do that? And how much would I have to make each day or each month? How much would the monthly P&L have to be? And then grind each day to each week to each month to each week to each month, and you just keep putting it together. And you may fall slightly short, you may fall above it, but at least you have an actual goal you can envision and go for. That's the first thing I think everyone should be doing today during this time. Come up with what you want to make by next year. So yeah, that will close red. That's not a great close. So that already did close tweezer top. That already did close to. So these already are kind of suggesting we're going to roll over, and we're overbought on the stochastics. So it's looking to me like we could come back down here to 87K. Sad, but it is what it is. It's just we got to show some strength. Nice bounce there. 4 hours, like I showed you, is attempting a tweezer bottom. And finally, pretty close to the 21. And I knew the 4 hour had to come back to the 21-day moving average. And even just not just come back, but hang out. Resistance, breakthrough, resistance, fall through, a back above. We want to stay above 91.5. And you want something like this. Honestly, that's a big measured move because that is the pole. That takes you to 102.8. I just give you what the pole says. I never try to. One day I tried to do my version. You could say fine, just from here to there. That's legit, and take a smaller move. But the move is this. This is the algorithmic measured move. And I've just figured it out over time, like not to mess with it. So it'll be great if we can consolidate. Like I said, earlier today too. That's why the price action was kind of just like, eh. I almost said don't touch it until the 3-day, right? And there I am trading the small time frames and playing games now. Auto earn is awesome. It auto earns on all your tether. It's pretty cool. So check that out. That's available on weeks. You just hit this little button and you start earning on whatever tether you have on the sidelines. I find it great. Yeah, so this trade's kind of looking like a head and shoulder now. So yeah, and when I zoom in from the 4 hour to the 1 hour, same, we're back here again. But it looks like an inverted head and shoulder could be playing out, but it also kind of looks like it could make a head and shoulder or could be rolling over. So MACD shows signs of lack of bearish momentum, like we could turn soon. I like the RSI. It doesn't have to be too low. And the Stokes are all right, but look, they're pointing back up. So here's the deal. I mean, I'm overall a little more bullish on this reversal because it just, we dumped for so many days. It's usually likely that you get a move up. There's a lot of liquidity up there. Bookmap keeps suggesting that we're going to go higher, right? Even when it's like, seems like, 94.5 at least. if I had to put on, exactly what I see happening tonight, I feel like there's going to be a move here back to the upside because it feels unlikely. It feels real bearish. They got a lot of people short. That's the emotion, but that's not, low stochastic, low RSI, MACD. See how this looks kind of like a double bottom or even like a cup with a handle there? Look at it on the 15-minute. It looks like an inverted head and shoulder. It almost looks like a complex, like a shoulder, a little shoulder, a head, a shoulder, shoulder. Bitcoin's trying to dig in after this low here. You can see on the 15-minute today at about, 230 and at 90,090. Bounce back up sharply. So, yeah, it looks to me like we could get a bounce back to the top of the channel. And that's why, to me, it's just, you got to get in here. You have to risk a lot, possible stop hunt on low volume just to get this move. And then I feel like it's chop. So, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's worth trading it tonight, personally. I'll keep whatever I have open. I'll likely get stopped out. I took a shot. But and the 3-day chart, to me, is the one. As long as we stay above that 200 moving average on the 3-day, I have faith that we could make some gains here. So once we go back below the 3-day 200, I'll be like, dang, man, they had us thinking we were going to reverse. Now it's but it's pretty strong right now. As you can see, multiple 3-day candles. And look at that wick is insane. 2 big giant wicks like that, and we're not going to end up here somewhere. It's it would be one of the first times I've ever seen that. So again, that's a simple way to trade it. I get it, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And so, I'm looking for a possible bounce here on the 15-minute, on the 1 hour. You can see that. And, of course, we got to get it back above 90. We'll get dragged back to 94K. We just seem to hit that, and every time we hit it, we can't seem to get back above it. And there's also going to be a major resistance, or a strong one at 92.5 right there. So I could see it go both ways. The 15-minute did break below the 200, but we're seemed to fighting for a bounce back to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if we roll over and end up down here at 87K either. To me, it's pretty low volume and pretty sketchy. Certain things have to happen. The 4 hour has to bounce. Basically, in the next 8 hours, you got to get a bounce back up. If not, this thing could be coming. Yeah, you know what I mean? Look at that. You'll gap right back down to 87K. And then this is the bigger channel, too, that we're showing you. And we could end up back down there right here, right somewhere right in here. Just boom. So I see how bearish it could be. I'm in the, I think I feel like it's I don't know, 50-50. I'm leaning a little more bullish. And I still like the long on the 3-day chart. I wouldn't get too caught up basically in the small time frame sauce. And tonight on the short term, I'd expect, basically just by what I'm seeing in the charts, I'd expect to move back up here. But I expected it earlier today, and they faked it twice in a row. Well, they finally actually do it. So that's kind of my update. That's what I'm looking at. Let me see what you guys are saying. Sam, how do you change the color of the POC on TradingView? You probably just go in here to the settings. I think mine has always been default where it is. But right there, you just hit that button and then I have it red. I think mine was default red. I don't know. I don't remember ever changing that. Thank you. Great question. These are the questions I really want to have. People just asking whatever, Love to see more up, even if it's a bull. Yeah, it still works for me. Even if it's a bull trap. Exactly. Even if it's a bull trap, I don't care. I'm just looking to make some gains on some swing trades, right? He says, I set my weekly P&L to make my monthly definitely surpass my minimum. Thank you to Sam. Thanks to Sam and Master Friend Education. Thank you. So glad to be back in the group. Been watching for a couple of years now. Joined for a year. Used some money that my mom left me after passing earlier this year. Giving it all I have with you. God bless you. Thank you. And honestly, the people that are here with me now are the people that are really, really, really want it and are willing to go to the distance. You know what I mean? No matter what happens. So I appreciate you all. I love you all. May we all win together. Imagine us all together winning. and hanging out a a year from now, after all we've been through. It's been gnarly to say the least. Looks like we could get a bounce here, man. Let's go tonight. Last but not least, let's look at that 1 minute. Yeah, it's got to get. See, just a second ago, I saw the 1 minute. It was looking nice. I figured we could get a nice pump out of that, but nope. Low volume Thursday night, you're always going to stop hunt or go low. See, you're going to shag. You could hit the 200 and just roll over. I would be careful trading the small time frames tonight. Or not, Even if I look back on a huge pump, oh, wow. Whatever. Maybe the 1 hour with a stop below that wick there, and you can see if the 1 hour can get the bounce. But I just, I got into that 3-day. I'm just going to ride that out and see what happens. To get where I want on that 3-day, it's not just a pump. I want to get that move back to 100K. So, but yeah, one thing I wanted to circle back on and talk about is everyone that's here tonight. Thank you. We made it through some of the hardest times. A lot of people got liquidated. A lot of people left crypto because they over leveraged. They didn't do the right thing. A lot of people blamed it on October 10th. But if they were just where I was in life, which is spot and not over leveraged, October 10th was just a drop in the bucket like many other times, and we made it through. It was a bit weird, but that, we had the housing crisis in 2008. Like there's always going to be insanity in the markets. It's never going to go perfectly your way. Never, Sam, how many trades in a sample size do you think are required to ensure you're applying the model correctly? I wrote 20 in trading in the zone. Just keen on your thoughts. I mean, I would like 50. I'd like 100 demo trades personally. Like if I was trading my son or my daughter, I'd say I need to see 100 demo trades. I can't be as hard on you as I would be on them, but I love them with all my heart. So that's, wouldn't you want what I want for my son and daughter? I think so. So I would say 100 in that data set. And until you were winning at least 50 of them, 60 of them, I'd say you're not ready yet, young Luke Skywalker. And that goes to the main portfolio. I have more too, that. I been showing this account every week for, years now. And yeah, I've consolidated. I've got some master because I think it has utility. And I say, why not take a shot? It could go to 0, but I got some Zen because if privacy ever comes back, Zen's like the smaller cap and could make some gains. Never gave up on my Fed. I got more of it other places in Tau. Mexi token because it performs well and it stays right. And you get lower fees when you have it. I like Sol. I think it's long-term a great play. So that's where the majority of my alt money went to. And I already had boatloads of Sol. I sold it, bought it back, so I've already had that money anyway too. And then I put a lot of alt money right here. You can see just 215 just sitting on the stacks of Tether right now at this point. Just sitting on stacks of Tether. And, and I never sell Bitcoin. I keep buying more Bitcoin. I buy more of that, turn that to 2.1, then 2.2, and then eventually, And then there's tons of other coins. I like, I still hold all this insanity. Gear, Peanut, Pocket Network, Nosana, Pyth, LF, ENA, Vine, Degen, Naka, which is old time. I had that for so long. A lot of these were 20, 30K at one point too. BMX. It's just crazy to see the whole market. Jasmy, Orderly, which I like actually for the order books, kind of like Aster. If DeFi comes back, if cryptos come back, then Orderly will be big, So as you can see, I'm heavily concentrated in Tether, right? I got Tether there. I also have Tether on my other exchange. Auto, right there, I have 80, So I'm just sitting in triple figures in Tether, just waiting for the market to be ripe. Once the market's ripe, I'm going to swing trade alts again. You're going to see me fire off more alts. And I won't exclusively trade Bitcoin. But right now, I just exclusively trade BTC. Right, I dollar cost average in an altcoin or a few things that I think, and I exclusively, I I can't imagine going through this alone ever again. I invested in traders on and off for years alone, not anymore. That's awesome, man. Thank you for saying that. The gold trade is shaping up really well. Gold trade is looking all right. Yeah. Yeah, memes for days, right? Just so much. I basically speculated on so much crap and just like should have sold it off all when the market started getting shit. But you don't even think about it at one point. You're just like, oh, whatever. You know, it's like not priority, sad to say. But that's the good thing about not investing about investing what you're willing to lose. You know, if you invest what you're willing to lose, then you're not going to like stare at it every 5 seconds. Good and bad, right? Maybe it would have been better if I had paid a little more attention. Well, the weekly pretty high too for gold though, so it looks like it. I don't know. Even though it looks good, it also looks on the bigger time frames a little exhausted, right? Yeah, I like how the 21's near the near price action though. To me, it just looks like we might do something like that. Like maybe we break out, but we might come all the way back down. We might just kind of get sideways, and we could come all the way down to 468 first. Just kind of one of these, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Nice. That will be it. The tighter the consolidation, the bigger the bang, you know? And it says it won't happen until the end of December or something like that. Just push down a little bit. But yeah, gold looks interesting to me. The Tesla call I gave recently, let's talk about Tesla at 409. And you're going to see me do this. So I'm going to start trading whatever. And I'm going to show you where and how. Like we trade this on BTCC. So the Tesla call there, I could see that it looked like it was going to break out around 409. I must have looked at it somewhere else. So I think I did it there on the actual. So let me just delete this and look at it fresh again. Yeah, but now I see what I was like now. So I see this as an ascending triangle getting ready. And I just bought the bottom of the triangle, likely to come back down. So it basically says we'll get a little pullback, right? For a couple weeks in December. Funny, we might pull back to like, wow, that's just we could pull back for like the whole month of December and then break out. It's kind of so nuts. But something like this is, I just want to see tight consolidation for Tesla. And then, you know, maybe even March it breaks out. Like this could take its time. I'm not saying this is, you know, but that's, you know, it's a double up in a massive company. And by June of next year, it hits somewhere in the $800 level. Doesn't have to, it could collapse. You know, this is not a guarantee. It's just what I see happening. And this trade is doing very well at 409 and now it's at 454. It's plowing away. Silver, let's take a look at silver. Silver took a little bit of a pullback from that nice pump. But you would expect it after a pump like that, right? It was kind of like there's some bear div now setting in. Previous resistance could become support there. You look at the weekly. Man, the weekly's getting kind of the weekly's a little toppy. It's got some bearish div. Might be the silver might have topped out here. I mean, that's a crazy move, you know? In the long term, it can likely consolidate, but to me, I feel like that was its kind of peak. And it's likely to, if it's lucky, to go sideways and continue to pump, but it might have to come down a little more. But we'll see. If they print enough money, then silver will have to stay and then just continue to moon. But even then, it will take about 2 weeks to to get some consolidation for a bigger pump. Being down on Naka worth the stick. I know, isn't that crazy, man? No, I haven't been active with that account. Honestly, I've had like serious stuff to do. Like I've had to actually allocate my real account, you know, take care of it, pay attention. I've been trading a lot, real money every day. So I'm not trying to be rude, but I haven't paid attention to the $100 account because I've actually been like really, which I really am. I'm always trading it, but sometimes I guess the market's so good and I'm coasting. Right now, the market's been tough. I've been putting in everything I have to make gains and to keep myself from losing. I've been like, it's very, 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 I have to be, I'm usually always focused, but when the market's like this, I have to be even more focused. So yeah, we just keep hovering, you know, we just keep hovering. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. As you can see why I'm just kind of, I'm more allocated in Tether. I'm looking for Bitcoin to make that bigger move. If it does, it could be a dead cat bounce. You know, I've got the bot going. If you know about the bot, I have links to the bot. If you want the bot, I'll put it here. And again, I'm not here to show stuff. I'm just, people say, well, what does he use? That's what I use. That's where you could get it if you want. That's the link to the bot right there. And you can even just call them and ask them some questions, and they'll let you know what it is and what goes on. But yeah, it trades for you. It makes buys and sells. It allocates to the market. It's an algorithm that understands the market better than you do and takes advantage of the ups and downs. It never shorts, but it trades into the dump to recover back up, and it can trade into pumps as well. So it makes money up or down, but it doesn't have to short, which is great. Yeah, I don't really want to get into people's taxes stuff. I just, because it's not, well, you get an account and you print out your ins and outs. You sign your P&L. You see if you made any money. You make sure you have proof of the money you made or money you didn't, right? If you have a loss, make sure you have proof of the loss, right? And just, print it out. You can use Coinily. I like Coinily. I have a link to that, and that will run at least, a P&L on most your buys and sells. And then from there, yeah, you can present it to your account and say, this is to the best of my knowledge. I made this much money. I transfer it to my bank account, preferably, and I sold. Here's my profits. Here's the coins that I sold. Here's the profits that I took them on. And then you link it to your bank account and say, hey, here's, you know what I mean? It's pretty simple stuff, right? I don't know why people get so, Just make sure you pull the profits into the bank account. Otherwise, it's kind of like floating tether that and I mean, that's still profits, but I would at least convert that into USD. Make some real profit. Everyone thinks they're in profit when they're in tether, but I don't know. To me, not let's make it real, Sam, can you say, the my bot will, yeah. Yeah, at the price, oh my God, the bot, at the price I paid for the price that the bot is, the highest price that it paid for itself within the first 5 months. Yeah. I was using I first started with 10, then 50, then $100,000. And I upped the ante. So let's say 7 months it paid for itself in 7 months. Yeah. But I did use $100,000. Right now I have $150,000 in there or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, trade in the iTrust IRA. That's what he does too. He trades in the iTrust IRA, which is great too. No capital gains there. So you can trade there as well, which is awesome. Appreciate that. Had that great relationship with iTrust Capital. So we'll see what happens to this trade. Maybe it digs in and makes a double bottom. Looks more like it's head and shouldering, but we'll see. I don't take price action too seriously on a Thursday night. I'll tell you that, especially after the week we've had last week. It was low volume Thanksgiving. Now we're going to come up into the end of the year. There's going to be more bank holidays and, so you're the goat, Sammy. Thank you. That's very nice. And wow, I was about to say, is that the from yesterday? But Vetigo, you're here again, man. Thank you. Shout out to everyone that's here. I appreciate it. You guys are the dedicated, because I had to change the time on top of it, and you showed up, and you didn't get liquidated, and you don't hate the market and everything that has everything to do with it because you lost. A lot of people are sour, man. I don't know them. I don't talk to them. That's what I hear. I can only assume, but I stay away from negative commentary and people, so I wouldn't know. I hang around my kids a lot. Honestly, I'm hearing a lot of baby talk and 4-year-olds, and I have 3 daughters, so just spend a lot of time listening to them and my wife. And between you guys and them and my stream, the day goes by pretty fast. I'll tell you what. Yeah, only 80 people. A lot of people missing out. It's all right. They come back. They watch it later. All right. And I'm getting this vibe too. I'm getting a descending triangle vibe here. See this? And I remember I called 2 shorts today. They both did end up. One of them, I guess, stopped out. I didn't. That looks pretty bearish too. It doesn't look. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling tonight on the smaller time frames at all. I'd stay off of them. My system tells me, oh, that's great. Let's go for it. And again, I get that little inkling to long that 1 hour and get the bounce. But it's like you got to be a hero. Like whenever you have to be a hero, it's kind of like, I want to see consolidation and make the move. To me, that's what I want to see. He said you can borrow against your Bitcoin. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Exactly. And there'll still be some new coins coming out. There's a lot of talk about, we're going to talk about Ethereum and XRP tonight. XRP has the biggest inflow last 11 days straight of the ETF. That's big news. Solana back near 140. Pretty strong. Chainlink at 14 with an ETF up 6% in 7 days. So it's not all bad, right? We're seeing some strength in the altcoins. SWE had a little bit of a pump, and it's up 7.7% in a week. And the only coins I believe that back to the same stuff. Like you have your AI coins, you have Tau and BitTensor, right? I like Aster because it's a utility. It's an index that can make money over time. It can produce gains, right? Near Protocol, I like it. It's got a good team. It's been around. I still like Caspa in the long run. Only real proof of work, a little, smaller cap coin out there. So it has its own unique thing to it, like a fork of Bitcoin in a way. $30 million market cap. It's got a small, 20 billion. Oh no, wow, it is a big market cap. Yeah, sorry, 29 billion. I thought for some reason, for a second, I was like, oh no, but they kept CAS super big. It's like, I knew that too. I'm slipping. But, yeah, nothing has really changed about my thesis for altcoin season. Like as it kind of gets put on ice, but like I still see the coins that matter. And I still believe Bitcoin's worth acquiring. I still believe BNB's worth acquiring. I still believe Solana's worth acquiring. Cardano's got midnight coming out, and there's some hype there, and it could produce some value. Look at Bitcoin Cash up 8%. I still like Chainlink. I still hold a lot of Chainlink. So I'm still in pretty deep. Even when I show you there's still another, a lot more, over a few triple figures of other altcoins. So, yeah, I'm still in deep. I'm not out yet. Now, for me, it feels like I'm not in, but I mean, it's a lot of money, right? That I still have in altcoins alone, not even in Bitcoin. So we'll take a look at XRP. We'll look at ETH. Is Ethereum breaking out? That's the question. Is Ethereum breaking out? Bitcoin with a little pump. Little pump, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm in the green. And look at that. Look how life can change, man. Just like that, Sammy can be in the green again. You never know. So tonight, like what I would do if I was somebody who was willing to take a probably very high risk, which that's me. I'm somebody, No, but if I was me, which I am, the 21 would cross the 50, the 200, and I would be looking for that. That would be a great trade. I'd be looking for the 5-minute time frame. I'd be looking for price to break through the 200 moving average and this $92,700, $93,000 area. And I'd be looking for a nice little flag at like 92.6, 92.8. And I'd look for the 21 to be touching, and I'd look for that thing to pump. Every time we get a little move, it's like, but at least we got something there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I had some Morpho. I bought Morpho. Oh, no, not Morpho. Is it Morphium? And I'm staking all sorts of stuff, too. I still stake I still stake a bunch of Ethereum on these, like, liquid staking protocols, which I'm like, I'm always like, Morpho's in a giant cup and handle towards the end of the on the bottom trend. Altcoins, it's just, I don't know. I just don't have it in me to speculate on altcoins anymore. But it does have a higher low. Look, 1, 2, 3 in a row too. Looks somewhat bullish there, down, down, down. But since I put it out, it's down and it's still kind of hanging. Yeah, I just don't have it in me to like speculate on altcoins right now. I'm just looking for the 1 hour to bounce out of this falling wedge tonight and not break down into a descending triangle, which both things are on the table right now. Zcash sending someone. Yeah, a little bit. And look at that. It was in a giant, inverted head and shoulder. You could see it, right? An ascending triangle. These are 50-50, but hey, I mean, you're digging out of the grave. And look, I mean, now you have a gap in the VRVP all the way to 457. Yeah, you can see previous resistance become support, right? Oversold, pointing up. Everything kind of looks like it wants a move. Your fibs at the 786. Now you're locked in. And again, if Bitcoin gets this thing, everyone's going to kind of be front running that idea, and it would be great. I mean, you get this reversal. You could also say that it broke this trend line. Does Zcash go on its secondary run now? I mean, you wait too. The high was November 15th. 2 weeks later, it dumped. Now, is it ready for another leg all the way to 1,000 or at least back to the all-time high? Interesting. And yeah, you want to break through the 200. And you can see it broke through another ascending triangle, you see? And the measured move again really takes you to 440. Yeah, some I would pull out, basically look at the bigger time frames if I was really going to get in and DCA a position, knowing that, if it doesn't work out, I don't know. To me, it's high risk if I didn't already get in. I'd like a 2-hour flag or a 1-hour flag that you can swing trade. 92.3, at least Bitcoin's kind of staying alive. All right, back down 77, 7. Yep. Great prices now for a lot of use case coins. Yeah, like chain. Yeah, I agree for that. Like coins that have a real team, that are substantial, that you can not Google, but you can research Google yourself, right? But you could go into yourself and kind of do your own deep dive on, and coins that have also have had a reputation. They've been here for a while. They don't need to explain themselves. Exactly. There we go, back above the 200 again. Can I get my sauce? It's funny, sometimes even when I have a trade like this open, I'll just open another scalp on top of it. Weeks will separate them. At isolated separated, I can scalp and it won't add it to this position. I could get in and get out on a scalp that has nothing to do with this position and nail it. I love that about this isolated separated. So up here, you can trade all different ways. You can trade isolated, separated, cross, and probably cross separated. I'm pretty sure. I trade isolated, separated, meaning every trade doesn't have anything to do with any other trade. When you trade cross, let's just say I have a Chainlink trade open and a Bitcoin trade open. And as the trade starts to go down, like you're cross leveraging, it's leveraging how much money you have here. And so your liquidation has everything to do with your account balance. Here, my liquidation is only my margin. So I can only get liquidated for 1,000 here when I'm isolated separate. If I was cross, I can get liquidated for 18,000. Yes, my liquidation would probably drop to see right now my liquidation is 90K. Yeah, my liquidation would probably drop down. So because most people don't know how to trade with risk, they can't handle this 90,000 liquidation price, right? It's too close. So they trade with cross, and then it's down at 70K. But what happens is they use no stop loss. So next thing you know, it goes down to 80,000, and they're halfway to there, and then they're down 9K, and then they don't know what to do. They're in between. Next thing you know, and I don't want to get liquidated, so they wait, and either they wait and get liquidated, or they sell off in the middle for a massive loss because they can't use a stop loss. And it comes down to the fact that they're in fear because they don't want to see a liquidation price too close to their price. So because of their fear, they're making bad decisions. See, I'm not in fear. I'm okay if I take a loss because I'm not afraid to lose. You see, so then I'm okay to have a liquidation price close to the price. And man, look, I've been in this trade. It's been down $200-300, maybe 250, 270, I think at the most. And there's a chance it probably ends up making me 100%, and I make $1,000 out of the trade. You know, we'll see. I don't want to boast. Maybe I'll lose again. You know, I don't know for sure. I'm just saying by not being emotional, by letting the trade do its thing and just letting it play out. You know, when I'm out here and I'm just posting on the Discord, I even see how people get back, oh, yeah, right. Like, you know, you can't really fully, you know, I try to be there. Like, look, I'm here. I'm still in the trade. Like, is he really still? I really still am in. Like, I'm waiting. Like, right here, I'm like, I'm down 100 and not risk heavy on the lower volume. But I still wanted to trade. You get it? I still felt like there could be that pump tonight. And then, you know, they're dangling the red in my face here on both maps. So I'm just like, you're going to pump. And when you pump, I would like to be there, you know? So look at this. A couple of months ago, I left a testimony here mentioning how the 99 allowed me to buy my wife and kids a dream to the Disneyland in Florida, living a third world country. This isn't usual. On Sunday, I have my interview with the U.S. Embassy to obtain a tourist visa. If I'm approved, I'll be the first time to Florida. It'll be my first time to Florida and the second Disney vacation for my family. Wow, so he sent his wife and kids, but he didn't get to go. Isn't that crazy? Lifer was one of the significant reasons I was able to do this. God bless Sammy. Wow. Thank you. Those moments right now are really, they hit me, they stick with me. It make me realize like I'm doing something for other people. And, you know, once they pay for the knowledge, they have it forever, right? So it's like the payment is one thing, but then it's over and then they can be free, right? And it's also about like mentally freeing people from like the trauma, right? Having a place to say, hey, I'm done with the trauma. I'm not going to let my past take away my future. I'm not going to replay, like I used to replay all the pain that I went through and all the ups and downs, and I wasn't able to focus on how to build the future, right? And therefore, I couldn't learn how to trade. I couldn't execute a P&L. I struggled so hard at my business or any business I was starting. You know, so how could I get out of my 9 to 5? It was almost impossible for me. It seemed like I was stuck and going to be stuck my whole life, you know. Today, I thought about how unstuck I got and how my life has changed and how where I am. And I say, man, what a blessing. Like I woke up this morning and I was like, you don't have a boss that's going to yell at you like you used to, or you don't have to get on the train and ride your bike over to work on a night shift like you did for 6 years. I said, you have a beautiful wife, you know, like you have, you know, you're going to spend time with your kids in the afternoon. And I was like, life is good. Like I have no reason to complain. I have no reason to be upset. I have every reason to be in a great mood and to be, yeah, so what? Bitcoin's at 92K. It's not at 126 anymore. So what? The market's taking a little bit of move. So what if we go into a year bear? Whatever happens, happens. You know, I got to make sure that I don't let that make my mood. And because, like I said the other day on the stream, you know, we never know when our last days are. And I want to be morbid and I'm super positive, but we just never know. No one knows for sure. We hope we all live to live long, fulfilling lives. And even then you'll wake up and probably wish it was, you know, it feel like it was never enough. Like I'm sure one day when I look back on my 80th birthday, I'm going to be like, wow, like I really hit 80. Like it really went by. Because life is just the present, right? So even when like you're out, you never leave it. So when time goes by and you're still back in the present again, you're like, whoa, I can't believe all that time I've gone through. It almost doesn't seem real, right? So I just cherish my present moment. Whenever I get the moment, I remind myself that this is all we have, is this one moment in time. And yeah, you know, like, and that's why it's about trading probabilities and not getting upset when you lose, not getting overexcited when you win. It's fun to win. I feel good. I have little reward systems for my wins. You know, I get to light like the fires in my backyard. I'll have a cigar. There's certain things I do when I win. And I can't do them unless I win. And usually like, there's a certain threshold of like a certain number that I like to hit. But that's what it keeps me going, you know, and it keeps me going to hit that threshold. It doesn't mean I overtrade to hit it. I don't have to hit it. It just some days things work out and the trades go well and I hit, you know. So yeah, you're looking for that inverted. You're looking for that flag out again, the 21 to touch. Looking for this thing to break out. So that you kind of see what I'm going over for Bitcoin here. And you kind of know mainly the altcoins, Chainlink, Solana, SUI, SEA, SEI. I still believe in those. I still believe in everything that has an actual Aster, right? Hyperliquid, even though I'm not a fan. I held it for so long and it was just boring. So just never seemed to move like I would like it. I like Chainlink. I still like Cardano, even though it's really boring, but I think it's just too boring for most. You know, I love Bitcoin, Solana. Everything else to me is a little too risky at the present moment in time, and you might be in on something I don't know about. Share it with us. Let us know. I'll still deep dive new coins that are coming out. I'll still have news on things that I'm looking at. Monad was a newer coin that came out. We'll look at it. You know, I'll just take a look at it right now. I think it wasn't that many places. Did it hit Coinbase? No. Yeah, and I think tanked too. Remember I said I wouldn't touch it? Tanked. Hard time for a coin to come out right now. Someone said Stellar. You know, you think Stellar would be getting a little bit of a move because of XRP? Again, though, remember the last big spike we had for Stellar was right there. It was a couple days, and then so it had a couple day pump there, a slow bleed for months, a couple boom up. So it's crazy, right? This thing pumped from November 10th to like November 23rd, and then it dumped from December, January, February, all the way March to June to July, and then it pumped for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, and then it just proceeded to dump ever since then. So it pumps for like a little bit, and then it dumps for long periods of time. Crypto, yay! Welcome to crypto. A 2-day pump and a 10-month dump on your face. Amazing. Got me trading Tesla and gold, right? It's like Tesla and gold, Tesla and gold. You know. Ondo looking good initially, but I underperformed. So, oh, it's so whack. Yeah. 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 99 is too cheap for the Mason community and our mentor, to be honest. This is the best. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That's very nice of you. You're far too kind, man. Far too kind. We go back to that small time frame. Can we watch that 1 minute? Remember that the small time frames are horrible today. I'm risking very little just to have something cooking. And over time, it adds up, though. Somehow it keeps me in the game. I'm excited for a bear. I'm loading up more on Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. If we get a real low, I agree with you. It'll be our chance to really get down. That's why and again, last idea too. Did Bitcoin bottom? You know, whenever I seen 10 and 11, that was a bottom. So I'm like leaning 70% that Bitcoin has bottomed. I really am. I can't tell for sure. I never like to like make that call because it's like, I mean, I do when I see a real bottom. I have to be honest, man. I almost want to say 80% now. Like I feel like there's going to be a pump at least back to 100K. And then it could be a false bottom. Like that's the thing. Maybe if I do, I believe we have bottomed for the moment. I don't know if it's like if we're going to make it to an all-time high or not. But I'm pretty sold on the fact that we're going to continue to bounce. But at the same time, there's like weakness tonight that we have to get through for that to also fall through on. So it's like I like it, but I'm not sold either way. Right? Ethereum, look, it's following Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin gets the move, ETH gets the move. And what you really want to see is ETH break through this 200 moving average on the 4. So all we want to see is this. I mean, if Ethereum makes a nice flag here, I'm longing it for the first time in a long time. And I'll long this 4-hour flag up to 3,700. That's a viable trade right there that I'd watch. But it's got to take about, I don't know, I'd say 12 to 16 hours to play out into formation, and then I'd be ready to take it. Sam, what are the best days to trade? The best days to trade, Monday. I like Monday afternoon, 6 p.m., 8 p.m. at night, and even into like 12 and 1 in the morning. I like Tuesdays starting at 7 a.m. all the way till like, usually till 12 or 1 in the afternoon. Then it's usually quiet. Maybe sometimes 4 to 7. If there's a hot day, Tuesday can be great all day. And then I like Tuesday nights again. Somewhere after like 8 or 9 p.m., I like to open up trades. I find like the market clears, and then I like to close those trades in the morning usually, on Wednesday morning. And then I like Wednesday night trades. I like Wednesday between 7 a.m. and 12, and even in the afternoons. Wednesday can pump all day too if the pump is right. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my favorite days to trade. Tuesday mornings from 7 a.m. to 12. Wednesday mornings from 7 to 8. My favorite times to trade. They're the best. I've won more on those days than any other days. The market has done what it was supposed to do on those days. It just falls into place on those days. I don't have to stress those days. It just goes. So yeah, it doesn't mean you can't get a great pump on a Saturday or a Sunday. It doesn't mean we couldn't get a great pump today. You never know. It just, I'm just going over the facts of the days that I have found are the best over time. Look, that's the signal now. The 21 is touching above the 200. We should get a move now to the upside. Finally, for Bitcoin, we should finally get a move somewhere to 93,000, 92.9. Look at Zcash on the 5-minute is making a flag. If that flag's out, Zcash looks like it could be a buy. And if Bitcoin pumps up tonight, look, Bitcoin might get a massive pump tonight, short squeeze it, all the altcoins follow. So it's feeling like there's some bullishness in the air. Even though it feels uneasy, it's weird. Can't fully explain it. So yeah, I'd trade Ethereum if the 4-hour makes a flag. I like what I'm seeing for ETH there. It's got to also bounce on the 1-hour, right? That can't bear flag and dump down. Got to have this keep coming. You want to see this consolidate. So yeah, I'd look for Ethereum to consolidate on the 1-hour and the 4-hour time frame. And I trade ETH very rarely, but it's finally looking like it's waking up a little bit. That's some good signs for Bitcoin and the altcoins. Don't worry, everything will work out, I believe, for Michael Saylor in the long run. I don't really stress it. It's all news, man, and crazy media stuff. I just focus on the charts and keep going. And in the long run, things play out. I don't get into craziness. Yeah. So I've been trying to open an account with Weeks, but it doesn't let me. I mean, really? It should just be simple, man. Yeah, I don't want... Why? That's weird. I thought you could just open an account on Weeks. I didn't know there was anything... Yeah, I don't know about that. So just... you have to find out that about on your own, man. Yeah. I'm very... I don't answer questions about, to me, it's I don't know. You know what I mean? I stay away from that stuff. Telling people what to do with a VPN and stuff. It's just, you know what I mean? For me, it's like, you got to be able to figure that stuff out. I'm sorry. Read between the lines in a way, kind of, Yeah. But I have no problems with Weeks, so I don't know. I didn't know people, I didn't think Weeks had any issues like that. Yeah. If you do, I use Austria or Australia. I use Australia, and that works fine for Weeks if you need it. Sammy G, the man, the myth, the legend, never stops. Grind, baby, bang, bang, bang. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Rocket Man. Quadruple sevens. Yeah. So with that being said, I wish I could give you guys more awesome information tonight. But you can see what I'm doing. I have not given up. I'm still in the market. I am observing with massive amounts of liquidity waiting to feast. And, you know, when things change, I'll definitely use that. And until then, I see, you know, I still have good amount of liquidity in my other accounts. I'm just doing my thing and trading BTC. So, hey, we still might even win the trade tonight. You know, that flag is starting to play out. That starts to pump. We'll be in the money soon. And then boom. 92.9, baby. So, yeah, that's about it. ETH does look interesting. I have an alert on Ethereum now. So set alerts on Ethereum. You could watch the 5-minute flag on Zcash. That might produce a gain later on. So yeah, it's looking, there's some opportunity out here. And the next thing you know, things will start popping and everyone will go back to like, oh. So it can happen before you know it. That's why I never give up and I stick around, because I don't know what the market's going to do. Right? Nobody does, for sure. Nobody does, for sure. But if you show up every day, you're going to be ready for it. I mean, and if you have a system with probabilities and you're able to read them 70% right, and you're there every day, well, 70% of the time, you're going to catch whatever move's coming, at big or small, you know? So, appreciate you being available anytime, man. Thank you. Yeah, so that's kind of where we sit and where we stand. I just got the notification. Yeah, sorry, I did send it. It's funny, I hit that and I didn't hit send, but I did send it to the weekly. You know, but I did hit that and I didn't hit send. So I was like, man. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, so could you tell me if that's real or not? I mean, it looks real. I mean, I don't know. My bracelet is real gold. That doesn't, this color is real. It's like, really? It's funny. Basically made it so like Bitcoin doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. My whole point is if you had gold, people don't even know if it's real or not. Like, if you had to barter it in the middle of something, everyone's going to have a little transmitter on them. Let me test that gold real quick. Make sure it's real. Yeah, of course it's real. Interesting, you know? He said, Sam, you saved me. I'm still alive. Hey, man, I love you. No worries. Day 5, ICU. I can't believe that, man. Dang. Well, as long as you're still alive, we love you. I'm so happy to hear we didn't lose you, man. That's crazy. We have lost a lifer or two. I know one person has passed that was in our group. Sad. And the group's around long enough. It's so crazy. Thoughts on the link chart. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Oh, wow. It did end up breaking out. Funny. So they dolphin dipped it. And it did hit my target eventually. I knew Chainlink was going. They were just playing games with it. Interesting. Well, yeah, Chainlink is at the bottom of, you can see an area it likes to bounce from every single time. I say it moves back up to the $28, $30 region. Do I take profits this time is the question. I like holding Chainlink. I feel safe holding Chainlink. I don't think I'm in some coin that's not, it's going to be around a long time. It just feels like I just got to wait my turn and eventually I'll be able to sell Chainlink. Looks like it's going to be like March of 2026, but hey, let's go, baby. I like this bigger structure. The dailies are right. It had a bigger pump. Like Bitcoin, the same thing, but what I like about different than Bitcoin, it's a lot higher than that resistance. So that kind of tells me, and that's also kind of like a foreshadow that even though you can draw like this, Can't really draw, that's a little, but Bitcoin you can draw like this. This line is there. It's not as high. But it's interesting. I've seen this before where like a coin looks just like Bitcoin, but it doesn't do what Bitcoin does, and it almost foreshadows where Bitcoin could go or what Bitcoin could be doing. Again, same idea here. You're either on a very aggressive entry right now or you're waiting for this to consolidate. I would wait for the consolidation. I've learned my lesson now being aggressive. And yeah, sometimes you're right, but then you got to wait or get pounded. And it's like, why do that? Yeah, you miss out. You FOMO a little bit. You could have got 14, you end up paying 14.50 or something. But again, I would put alerts on Chainlink. So it's funny. I like lev trades for Chainlink and Ethereum when the time is right. But when the time is right, so now I start watching them. I map out what I want to see, and if I start to see it, those trades will come out in the next few days. Right? My trust is 80% Chainlink. Wow. And tonight's a full moon, man. We should get a full moon pump for Bitcoin. Wake up tomorrow in the green, right? And imagine tomorrow we wake up in the green, and then Friday's a continuation pump. Squeeze, all this stuff is going to be doing the same thing. It's going to be flagging out on the 4 hour. This one's below the 200, but same story. And great prices for SWE at 161. Bottomed out there at 131. Yeah, I sold all my SWE here at $2. I'm still wondering if I want to buy back. I just felt like I'd rather own Bitcoin, Solana, Chainlink, and have some fun too, outside of cryptocurrency. So for me, yeah, I don't know. I was done speculating on too many things. I still think it's a great project. It'll probably do numbers. Go to 17. There's probably a nice 15x here to $20. But it just, funny operation when I got out from the operation, I took your long call, but unfortunately lost like a boss. That 1 minute sick hit my stop loss. That stinks, man. He gets out, he takes the call and gets wicked out. Can't that one just go? And then Bookmap is also showing us that there's liquidity to the upside. So, yeah, SWE looks like it's going to pump. I mean, 21 flag, low stochastic. I love that. Previous support becomes resistance. I mean, I love that right there. That's one of the nicest plays I've ever seen. But I'm weary on altcoins. They got me, I wouldn't be surprised if they stop on it and then, I like that trade though. And again, trading is as simple as seeing something you like, deciding whether you like the risk, putting up the risk or not, and then sitting back and waiting on the trade. People put way too much thought into it. God has greater plans for me. Feeling blessed. I'm so happy, man. Amen. Yeah, I mean, that was one trade, but I'm happy you're still alive. Amen, brother. So on the weekly seems to be forming a swing low, he says. Interesting. By my neighbor. Oh. Yeah, so that's that looks interesting. I like what I'm seeing there. Nice little flag too. And that could get up to what, 217? Resistance at 218, 220. Retest the POC on the daily, you said? I don't know where that would be. That's up there at 349. I mean, I think that's a little far away, man. Retest before the pump? I mean, the daily POC I see is way up there. We must be looking at two different POCs, maybe. Maybe you're looking at this one. Maybe you'll see everything. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's this one here. Oh, down. That's the daily POC at 62? I don't think so. No. I believe your low is in, but who knows? Who knows? I highly doubt it, though. Yeah. I believe these were your double bottom lows there. But we'll see. I don't care anymore because I'm done over speculating on altcoins for now. So I'm like free of that. Before I'd always be like, I don't know, I'm going to go all in on this alt right now. And maybe I'll probably get sucked in before you know it. If the market starts again, I'll be like, oh, I should have went all in on that, you know. But yeah, I've matured in some ways when it comes to trading. And I have a game plan for the next few months already set, no matter what the market does. So. Anyway, everyone, I have to run at 8. I love you all. I thank you so much for your time. And if you have more questions, please send them all into the content directory. Ask more during the live stream. I see a lot of questions, but I wouldn't mind more questions during the live. That's what it's for. You are far too kind to let me, just do my thing out there, but I'm there to help you. Right. And with that, I got to run. I love you all. Thank you so much for a great night. And keep pushing. Don't give up on yourself. I don't think you will. You guys are very, very relentless people that are here tonight. And just keep going. There's opportunity for us. We just got to keep believing that every single day. And then we look back in a year. We look back. And these times are tough, man. They're tough for me. They're not easy. I have a beautiful life. And I wake up every morning and it's a grind. There's a lot on my shoulders. I got 3 kids and a wife that all depend on me. 4 people that depend on me staying positive, staying in the groove, staying on the grind. Right. And I thought about it today as I worked out. I was like, I got to work out. I got to do my affirmations. I got to listen to Jim Rohn. I got to reset my mind. I'm constantly keeping my mind in the mind can go right back to doubt and pain and negative thoughts very fast. You have to constantly keep pushing yourself. Okay. It's a constant battle. It's like the second you stop going to the gym, you're not going to the gym anymore. And then you're back to being out of shape. Like you're out of shape or you're in shape. You got to stay in shape mentally. It's important. It's how I make it through. It's how you make it through. It's how anyone who's super successful in life, all the multimillionaires, millionaires, anyone, they're keeping positive mindsets, positive aspirations. They're thinking positively. Their mind is creating their reality. I'm telling you, it's so important. You must have positive thoughts constantly or as much as you can, right? And just keep pushing and just keep pushing. Anyway, I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you so much for your constant support and love. Stay blessed, stay amazing. And, every day that we're alive is a blessed day. Like today was an amazing day. It really was. And I know I have a great life because I get to spend time with my kids and my wife on a regular basis. And I know that's a blessing. So Florida's also beautiful. It's hard to be depressed when it's really sunny out, So keep pushing, everyone. Keep grinding. Shout out to all the new people that jumped on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I appreciate that. And to all the OGs, help the new people. They're going to be asking questions. You're going to see them. And maybe annoying at first sometimes, you know what I mean? But, be open-minded. Be ready for them. They're awesome. And, not annoying. You know what I mean? Sometimes some of the same questions might get asked over and over again. But I see you guys. You always are super nice. So, everyone, I love you. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And in the group tonight if I see things change.